all for showing up for yet another essential meeting of the Mingling. As I'm sure you're all aware, our humble council of concerned citizens is made up of Dialtown's most powerful and noteworthy residents. Presiding over this meeting is none other than yours truly, the shrewd and devilishly cunning mayor of Dialtown, Miss Mingus Crown.
Hi.
Hey,
Sup, bozos?
Good evening, Mayor.
Kitty.
I heard that! I fucking heard that! When I figure out which one of you... Moving on. Before we get into our pressing business, I'll conduct a quick head count. Little Billy, kicker of shins, biter of ankles, the bane of Dialtown's allies, public schools, and playgrounds. What the fuck was that? Rotary Christ, do you know how sensitive a cat's hearing is?
Are you asking if this is the first time I've shrieked directly into a cat's ear? Bit of a stupid question, that.
You see, this is why we have to invite you here. You're too dangerous to have in our opposition's hands.
Yeah, and it's really swell. Being feared rocks, you know.
You think that's news to me? Being feared's half my whole job, you little brat.
I'm a Machiavellian little scamp.
Who taught you that word? I know I got education by 50% across the board last year, so it couldn't have been at school. No matter. Moving on. The Aurora Wrestlebout, Zoomaster, and allegedly famed explorer. The cager of beasts and jailer of zebras and whatnot.
Hello, yes. Bully to the lot of you. Glad to be back.
What? And what might that be, standing on the table in front of you?
'Tis none other than Cygnus Dialtownus, the noble Dialtown native swan.
I can clearly see that it's a swan, Theodore. What I meant was... why on earth would you drag a feral pond avian into our meeting?
She seems docile enough.
Well, is she toilet trained?
Why isn't the whole world a toilet, in a way?
This town might be, maybe. Again, why the swan, Theodore? Oh, don't tell me it's...
Why, for show and tell, of course.
Every meeting. Every meeting! Okay, we have a lot to go over, so I'm just going to move on.
And
Swan can stay if you cease talking right now.
right, yes, what is that?
Fantastic. Next up, Shooty and Stabby, our sinister representatives from oh so feared Dialtown mob.
Wait, people are actually afraid of us now? That's news to me.
We did it, bro. We've hit the big leagues. We're real criminals now. All of those fabricated headlines that the mayor bribed the press to publish must have finally paid off.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Only 5 can see you now.
Yes, most people that you two mug, swindle, and steal from tend to be positively terrified of you both. Well, specifically terrified of accidentally knocking either of you over mid-mugging. You know, in case one of you bang your head on the pavement and they get convicted for manslaughter.
Wait, people think we are an ominous force to be reckoned with?
Outside of them being afraid of grievously harming one of my henchmen and eliciting my divine feline wrath? Not even remotely.
But we're in the mob, though. We've got connections.
You have exactly one connection, which happens to be me, a figure who the citizens of Dialtown are actually afraid of, and for good reason.
But we can be scared.
If you can, I've yet to see it.
Watch this, bozos! How's that for intimidating, huh?
I'm sure I'd be positively quivering if your gun was actually loaded. Now, put that thing back where you found it, and don't even think about picking it back up while I'm addressing you. No.
Shit, bro, I told you that those lousy blanks just don't have the same effect. Mayor, can we have some bullets? You know, in case we need to ice someone for you.
And can I have a government-assigned shotgun stabbing knife? This one's gotten awfully dull from using to slice my sandwiches during lunchtime.
No, we've been over this. You'll only hurt yourselves if you're given real weapons. Now, moving on. Next member, Abel Brannigan, violator of OSHA regulations and the sole proprietor of the Dialtown Fun Fair, the most recklessly ran fun fair in America. Next to Baboon World over in Nevada, anyway.
I feel like with the megaphone screaming, the swan, and the gunshot, I can't really live up to the standard that's been set so far. Like what? Am I gonna pull a Ferris wheel out of my ass?
I'd be immensely impressed if you could, but the basic introduction will suffice.
Alright then. Hello all, glad to be back.
Theodore, please take the megaphone from the boy. Alright, thank you. Moving on.
Do I get to finish my...
No. Next, we have the one and only God, who's filling in for our dear comrade Bunny, the owner of Bunny's Burgers off Main Street. Also, he's a hobo and woke up face down in a puddle this morning.
Wait a minute. Do I own Bunny's Burgers?
No, hobo, you own nary a house, hovel, cottage, bungalow, trailer, nor gazebo in my city, and really have no societal power at all. You've honestly done very little to warrant anyone having much respect or admiration for you.
I mean, I did kind of create the universe though, right?
Yes, and we're all still tremendously upset with you for doing so.
Aw, shucks. So, wait, what am I even doing here then?
Because, as you'll recall, a bunny got flattened by a rogue fortune-telling amusement park cabinet and we needed someone at short notice. And believe me, you cannot get more short notice than a man wandering around carrying a sign saying, "We'll do a cartwheel for dog food."
Ah, coolio. Honestly, sitting in a heated room and talking about politicals and junk.
Politics.
Yeah, sure, whatever. It's a hell of a lot easier than doing a cartwheel, let me tell ya.
Yes, I'm sure
I can't do a cartwheel, actually. My sign was fraudulent. I just wanted a dog food and was hoping someone paid me before demanding to see the cartwheel.
Wait. You created the entire universe, and yet the ability to perform a simple cartwheel eludes you.
Simple? Have you ever tried to do one, huh? They're really hard.
Right then, now that we're all present and accounted for, we can begin. Hereby officially declare this meeting of the Mingling now in session. I hope you all had a relatively pleasant journey here despite the dismal weather.
You summoned a child to town hall on a school night, expected him to skateboard in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Hush, stunted one. And with that juvenile outburst appropriately discarded, we can begin. Now then, you all know why we've gathered here.
Nah, I don't.
quiet you. Abel, wheel the projector over and start the slideshow. Yeah. Yes, folks. We're here to discuss none other than the Green Menace. Gingy!
The egg layer.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was
Oh, hey, Greenie.
Yes. I'm sure you're all well acquainted with this emerald entity. In the past 12 months, we have caught Gingy laying eggs on private property, harassing Dialtown's public,
Oh shit, that me.
exposing Dialtown's public to vulgar cinema, convincing Dialtown's most reliable bank teller to skip town so she can paint pointless mountains, befriending the fugitive known as Bigfoot, stealing the rug from my office, and possibly worst of all, fraternizing with Randy Jade, possibly the worst citizen of Dialtown.
Wait, how is hanging out with Randy the worst thing out of the stuff you just mentioned?
Oh, it isn't truly. I just personally find that last one particularly repulsive. As you all know, Dialtown has a status quo, which acts as the backbone of our robust, inclusive, but civilized society. One that we have toiled strenuously to protect. As mayor, I have made sizable strides in recreating the Dialtown that existed under my grandfather's leadership. A town of prosperity, order, and hope. A utopia, really. But, as I'm sure you know, when one attempts to compare the Dialtown of my grandfather's time to the Dialtown of today, you inevitably run into a discrepancy. A green discrepancy. Simply put, Gingy isn't just a threat to our society, but a threat to normality itself. They are the final hurdle in recreating the Dialtown that existed in 1966. 1966 being the year of the dial-up, the year my grandfather changed the whole world for the better. Simply put, Gingy must be disposed of.
I say, why don't we just lock them back up in the zoo? I think that's a bully idea, don't you?
So what? Letting them escape from your zoo once wasn't enough? I don't trust you to contain Gingy. Dismissed.
Alright, let's take the idea of prolonged captivity entirely out of the question then. Say we just bonk them over the head with a shovel. You know, bury them out in the woods. A quick wham bam thank you ma'am and they're out of our hands for good.
Right, until a wild boar unburies them and suddenly they've tamed a boar. If we can't contain a mountless Gingy, what hope do we have one against riding a boar?
It's all too hard and pointless. Why don't we just eat a burger at the nearest dumpster and call it a night? I vote we do that.
Inaction simply isn't an option. Look, you all have something to gain from Gingy's exile. Billy, is it not Gingy who is indirectly responsible for the conversion of the Dialtown cinema into an 18s only spook house?
Yeah, cutting me off from my favorite person to torture in the whole city. I can't steal the fucker as fast as I can get to him, can I?
Theodore, with Gingy out of the picture, you'll be free to recapture and study the elusive Bigfoot, undisturbed.
By Jove, think of what I could deduce from new fur samples alone!
Stabby, Shooty, by pulling this job off successfully, you'll have proven yourselves worthy of the rank of enforcer. Dialtown's populace will know that.
We'll be qualified for... I mean, yeah, of course we're qualified to act as your enforcers.
Leave it to us, Miss Crown.
Abel. No more egg shit at your fun fair.
Fantastic.
And God, you're being paid in dog food to warm your seat.
Thanks, you too.
As a committee of concerned citizens, the Mingling is.
Wait, we're a comic key? I figured we were, I don't know, an evil league of villainous friends or some dribble to that effect?
Refuse to let this meeting get derailed by such an unsubstantialized accusation, which isn't at all based anywhere in reality. Now then, on to the villainous capture of Gingy itself. Theodore, I'll need a cat carrier. The one you brought the swan here in will suffice. Shooty and Stabby will take care of the rest.
How are we gonna get them into it, Mrs. Crown?
Yeah, I've seen that fucker up close and they look like they scratch. And possibly bite.
Oh, don't worry, you two. I think you'll find my method of subduing them to be most effective.